So, yes. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Can we close the? Okay. They will close. Yeah, no worries. So, very welcome here. Thanks for coming. It was a summer break for us, and we didn't anticipate that so many people, despite the weather, despite that the road is closed, no parking, will be here. So I'm really impressed that we gathered so much people. And you are in for a treat. We have two great speakers today, Atis and Elvis. I will tell more about them later on. But first things first, why it is not, just a second. Can we switch? Yeah, okay. So brief words about this event. Basically, we wanted to get knowledge, and we had no community where it could be gathered. So we decided, why not create ours? And it's 15th product meetup already. So please be an active participant. Don't just listen to the great guys we have brought to you today, but also participate and make a community, speak, share ideas, and get to know each other. That's the whole point of networking and this social event. Brief words about us. So we are Chill Apps. We make mobile apps and design. We build on Flutter. We do all kinds of services. We exist for 9+ years. And yeah, if you need any help or any ideas about mobile apps, this is your destination. And currently, we are hiring for Android developers and junior business developers. So if you know anyone or you are one, please let us know. One more thing, we have created a fintech report. We gathered contacts of 14,000 finance apps in the world, and we have evaluated them second year in a row, trying to understand what best companies do and what worst companies does not. So there is like 76 pages long document with some fascinating data, and please download it. We want it to be read by as much people as possible. And if you have additional questions, let us know. We will walk you through and we will compare your app or your product to that. Also, one of the possibilities. And that's all for the official part. Oh, one more thing. Huge thanks for the Workland for providing this venue for us. A long-time partner. Thank you very much. And let's get to the product meetup agenda. So first, we will hear from Atis from HackMotion, and he will tell more about their experience in HackMotion. Thank you.
Hi to everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here, and rather nice way to spend the evening. So I'm Atis. I'm one of the co-founders and also CEO of HackMotion. We are a company that manufactures wearable sensors and build software for sports applications. We primarily focus now on consumer market. Today I'm going to go a bit into details how we actually got to this point. So how it all started. It started already like 9-10 years ago. So we've been around for a while. And then I'm going to maybe go in some small kind of details on how actually we approach building our product. So it's hardware part and software part, and so what are maybe the key learnings we have figured out how to succeed with this kind of
product in the market that we are in. So yeah, before I start, I'm gonna just briefly introduce myself so you understand what I might know something about and what you might skip after my presentation. But yeah, so I have a very technical background. I used to work in science research for like close to 6 years, related to like sensors and signal processing. So didn't know anything about business or anything like that, just purely technical. And then when I was coming towards finishing my PhD, I started to feel that maybe academia is not something where I'm really looking forward to spend my rest of my life, you know, in terms of career. And so a couple of guys approached me while I was still working in science research and told this idea about building something like a virtual coach. And so I liked the idea and jumped to it. And so we co-founded together HackMotion. So I originally was a technical co-founder, so I was CTO and personally oversaw building of our first hardware product and also first versions of software. And then some years down the line, I switched more to CEO position. So now I'm not so technically focused, still like technical work, but I'm more and more involved with all the other things that are happening around the company. So we are around now coming close to 30 people team, so quite a number of projects and issues that we need to solve regarding that point. And so yeah, this is product meetup. So what actually do we do? So what's our product? So first thing is that we have hardware component to the product. So we have wearable sensors that can incredibly accurately track your movement. And so this is not like a fitness tracker or something like that. We actually measure joint angles and like biomechanics. And so this is the hardware part. And then we build our own software that can then analyze those motion tracking data and then kind of build all kind of layers on top of it. So we started with just building simple, maybe like kind of measurement devices, and now we are more into providing you personalized insights, even having drill plans with like real-time drill functionality. So really the product now acts more like a virtual coach. So we've been for now several years very focused on golf market. And so it's a device on your wrist, and then the software package used to be at the beginning desktop application, but now for several years we are purely on mobile. And so yeah, that is basically what we are doing right now. So I think relatively typical setup for consumer hardware plus software products. So gadget with all kind of accessories that we develop in-house, and also the big part is HackMotion app, which is basically where most of the magic happens in terms of how we interpret the data and what the user sees when they are using our device. So we have been operating, as I said already, I think in the market maybe for some 7-8 years. So we have delivered to date, we are not counting very accurately, but I think close to 50,000 units around the world. We have clients basically everywhere where people play golf. So we are shipping to basically all continents, all countries where somebody might be interested regarding this, serving most of the customers here from Riga. We have only office in Riga, and we are actually shipping even most of the packages from our Riga office still to date. And yeah, lately we've been scaling more rapidly and gathering some more public attention and even all kinds of awards. But obviously it didn't start like that. So back when I was still in science research, so the idea was to build motion tracking suits, so have sensors around the whole body, and then build something like a virtual coach based on full body motion tracking data. And that's exactly what we set out to do. So the original idea was to build it actually for snowboarding. So we spent more than a year really diving deep into technical details, how to really create our own kind of wearable sensor motion tracking suit. And then the idea was actually very nice and beautiful. You know, we will gather all the data about all your movements. Then we'll have some software that will analyze and give you kind of feedback and help you to improve in a specific sport. We thought that snowboard is a great market to start with, as it's technical sport. There are a lot of things that you might be interested to learn. You already are spending quite a lot of money in the sport, so all kind of equipment, vacations, so on. So it kind of made sense for us at the very beginning. And actually we got surprisingly far. So this is not some sort of mock-up or something like that. So the guy is actually wearing our sensor suit, and this is kind of side-by-side comparison of the data, 3D model that we can get. So we could get this in real time with something like 50 hertz or something. So it was proper motion tracking that we managed to build prototypes that were kind of really usable in quite extreme environments. And then when we started to build kind of additional layers, something not only gathering the data, but really trying to understand what people might need in terms of coaching, we finally started talking with customers. And quite soon after this, we realized that our nice idea might be a bit flawed. Because to put it super shortly, it didn't take us too much conversations to realize a couple of things. First, that average snowboarding amateur is not really keen on increasing their skills. So everybody will say they are, but they don't go to kind of snowboarding coaches. They don't work too much on their technique and so on. So average amateur snowboarder, as long as they can get along with their friends in Alps, they're good to go. And then basically they're learning by doing without anything, without paying too much attention or energy or money for it. And then we thought maybe at least somebody in professional market might be interested in this. So obviously there are these guys doing crazy jumps and tricks and so on. And so we managed to do a couple of demos like this where we tested the technology, and we did a demo in one of the biggest snowboarding schools in Finland, and they were like super excited about the product and said that, oh, it's great, you know, we might even order like 1 or 2 suits from you. And then we realized that, you know, if one of the biggest kind of snowboarding schools in the world are interested to buy maybe 1, 2 products, we don't really see where the big business can come from in this market. And yeah, so we were in quite poor situations where we had spent like 1.5 years building product for a need and market where we realized it doesn't exist, at least not the way we thought of it. And yeah, at the time, so this didn't work out, but we were quite sure that there must be something around this gathering data about movements and then kind of providing feedback and building something like virtual coach. And the idea from the very start was not that we would only focus on snowboard forever. It just seemed like a nice market to start. So we looked around and we actually tried to pivot to a couple of use cases, and we came across golf, which was basically mentioned in almost any kind of demo or exhibition or wherever we went. And we also saw in the market that there are quite a number of products which are somewhat similar to what we were intending to do, at least some sort of technical products in sports activities. And some of them seem to do rather well, at least compared to what we were doing at the time. And so we realized that we are not really ready to jump in another mistake, meaning spending maybe over a year and a lot of resources and time on building something again that people might not want or need. And we figured that we I guess need to really take this customer research seriously this time. And so we did some kind of early kind of prototypes and tests, which were like super simple to do because we had this kind of great motion tracking prototype, and so this is literally the same sensors that we used for snowboarding and other tries. So we just tested the concept, And then we figure out, okay, we need to really talk with a lot of golf coaches to really understand whether this is something viable in terms of business. The idea right away was to go to golf coaches, not to consumers, because it was basically the only products that we saw relatively successful in the market were those who were primarily more professional focused than consumer focused. And so what we devised is that is a super simple kind of presentation. So here are maybe a couple of kind of pictures from it. So it was like a short video that just showed that, you know, we have this motion tracking sensors and we can measure wrist movement. And here you have the whole other like 10 sensors from the suit, so we didn't manage to, didn't bother to kind of adjust the prototype too much. It was just the idea that we wanted to test whether we can get away not with building the whole suit, but with something much, much simpler. As the idea came from early conversation with some local golf coaches that, you know, wrist movement might be interesting in itself enough, so it might be worth just building this product. And then we set up maybe some 50 to 100 interviews on Skype. Back then, Zoom was not a thing, so Skype was. So it took us maybe 2 full months for 2 co-founders full time just to set up maybe 50-hour-long Skype interviews with random golf coaches around the world. Funny thing that none of the original founders had ever really played golf, so we didn't really understood the market or anything too much. So it seemed like natural that we had to learn this very fast. And so we just showed that, you know, we have this prototype. We said that the idea is that after every swing, you will get these nice graphs about how the wrist is moving. And basically, in the interview, this was a hook to show that we have something, and try through the interview understand whether it's something very interesting for the market. So, and at that point, we really understood that we had to go forward as scrappy as possible. So we are not ready to spend even 1 cent on something that might not work again. So we didn't bother to build product at all, just doing interviews. So I kid you not, I draw these lines myself in Microsoft Paint. That was the only graphical editor I knew at the time, still, by the way. And so we didn't know how proper kind of wrist angle technique might look like in a graph. We understood basic mechanics, so we draw something that might look similar and just showed, you know, you'll get this graph. There will be some timing, you know, some positions where your ball is hit and when the swing started, and whether this would be something interesting for you. And so basically we managed to get a number of these interviews and really went through all kinds of details at first, how coaching works in general, how they use other gadgets, and then slowly moved towards whether they're interested in something like this. And in some of the later interviews, we pushed this even farther. We realized that we will not build a single thing further unless somebody is actually willing to pay for it. So we set up pre-order campaign, meaning that in those same interviews in Skype, those couple of dodgy guys from Eastern Europe calling to golf coach in maybe Florida or I don't know, Australia or somewhere else. So at the end of the interview, we said, you know, if you said that you are interested in those graphs, so here's a link, you can order one. We'll ship you when it's ready in like 2-3 months. And so we didn't even bother to set like proper landing page or some sort of a website. We just created PayPal account and just sent PayPal payment link. So that's it. And obviously our conversion rate was not great. But again, we were talking to those specific persons who were interested replying to cold email to random guys around the globe and showing something around a specific gadget in golf. So those were very specific type of customers. And I don't remember how much, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 of pre-orders we managed to get. And only after that, we kind of really figured, okay, we are willing to invest our last resources and everything just to go forward with this idea. And we kind of realized that we have gotten way farther in like 2 months without building anything like related to product compared to, we got much farther compared to maybe what we did in last like 1.5 years doing this snowboarding thing, where we did a lot of building and spent a lot of resources and it went to nothing. So we realized that we need to go forward with this approach. So we understood that, okay, if somebody paid for us money with like Microsoft Paint drawings, maybe we can ship them early hardware and just test and keep validating as we build along. So the first hardware we shipped to paying customers was quite embarrassing. So if you look underneath it, it was like literally plastic zip tied. The reason was that those kind of plastic enclosures were designed for completely different application. And again, we just wanted to test the idea. We managed to fix those in a way that you can strap them to wrist and just see whether the concept works. And we sort of did the same thing with software. So we didn't have money or resources or talent to do with like UI UX design. So I personally draw something that somehow resembles something a bit similar to software interface. And we just quickly run forward with setting up basic functionality. So it's just a bit better than command line. You get the concept. And then we just went forward and shipped this to first paying customers. Again, not as a final product, but as a saying, we said that it's going to be in a couple of months. It's not ready yet, but we can send you a prototype and we'll ship you the thing once it's actually ready. And the feedback we got from those super early clients regarding this kind of really crappy, like literally MVP version of the product, it was invaluable. So we validated a lot of things, how we need to build forward. We validated a lot of things that we don't need to pay attention, and found out several things that we thought are not important and turned out to be important, or vice versa. And so this was our approach, how we got to basically first kind of MVP version that we ship to customers. And now I'm glad to say that we have during the years moved forward quite a bit. So both in terms of hardware and also software, we have made significant progress. We don't think we are there yet. I don't think we'll be ever there. So it's constant journey. But this is something that is much closer to what we maybe envisioned when we launched the product. And obviously the world has moved forward as well during those 7-8 years. And so everything related to how hardware or software should look have kind of improved dramatically. So this is our current hardware that we're selling. So this is version 3. We are currently working on version 4. So it straps much nicer to the wrist, not with those zip ties and so on. And so our software is now mobile app, both on iOS and Android, or by the way, also using Flutter. So works out very well for us to maintain the same, almost like 90% of the code base is the same. And this is something that we've been working on, I would say, the most. And the interesting part is during this journey, what we realized is that in this market, which is basically sports wearables, actually the same goes for all fitness trackers and so on. So the biggest problem is not to measure stuff. The biggest problem is how to figure out what to do with the measurements. So how to make them useful to end user. And so it turned out that kind of building gadget, it's difficult. It's definitely an involved process, but then making sure that the software can show the data in a way that is useful to the end customer, it's incredibly difficult. And this is where vast majority of our product team is still spending time nowadays. So we are doing quite a lot of, I would say, rather innovative things in UI space. So you have to understand that the gadget, the product we are doing, so it's basically real-time interaction with the software. So you have the wearable, it tracks the data real-time. You can actually see your movements real-time in the app. And so once you are doing golf swings, in real-time, it gives you all kind of feedback. So starting from just, you are out of some range and ending with proper kind of design drills where the kind of software and the app tells you, you probably have this fault, here's the drill, and then it turns into software that actually kind of guides you through the drill, tells whether you're doing it properly, tells how many reps you have to do. So basically you have to, we are sort of designing a new human-computer interface. So the input device is your wrist movements, and then the software is this small screen in your phone that usually lies somewhere on the ground, because obviously you're not holding a phone, you're holding your golf club. So we had to solve a lot of kind of really unique challenges in terms of UI and these kind of things. And yeah, so one of the ways how we have figured out to really succeed in this space, we quite quickly realized from the, again, it comes from our roots and the first experience, is that if you have this grand vision how the product's supposed to work and then just build it out with like a long backlog and then have one huge celebration with one big launch, it just never works out, especially in the space where you have to really innovate and really build something where you can't maybe see some design patterns or some examples from other products. And so how we do that, we have a number of ways how we interact with the clients directly, even today. So one first super simple one is just handling support. So we have tens of thousands of clients. We have just one full-time person dedicated to support, but all of the team, including myself, has dedicated support hours throughout we work in 2-week sprints. So every team member have maybe 1 or 2 hours that they dedicate to support. So even developers, even designers, even marketing persons, they really understand what are the pain points, unfiltered, so first level support, like what's actually going wrong with the client. And so everybody is kind of in sync what's good and what's maybe not so good. Then we have some more kind of specific channels, like we have a great Facebook group with our clients. I'm not sure how many participants are there, but it's thousands. And so we are kind of creating a community where people can discuss features and we can ask questions and maybe even show some prototypes and get early feedback even before we launch. We do still a lot of client feedback calls. So whenever people want to return product or they have left some sort of feedback in a number of ways, we just simply reach out to people and said, we want to have a call with you. And again, success rate is not great. People tend to not pick up phone and so on. But again, if you just do it persistently, I think on average we have at least maybe 1 user call every single day. So counting it together throughout the year, it's a lot of feedback we get from direct conversations with customers. And obviously we do all kind of field testing. We do design sprints internally, and so try to validate some maybe more early stage ideas as early as possible without even having it to launch to clients. And yeah, to really understand what we mean by everybody cares about user feedback. So for example, Christopher, he's one of our senior developers. So he's actually directly himself posting in our Facebook group and asking to test some sort of things, asking feedback from clients and responding to the problems that some people bring up directly. So this is the level where we actually bring this to. And yeah, obviously to solve these problems, again, it doesn't work in one big kind of huge project. So we truly do continuous deployment, meaning that we launch, I think, at least every week, probably, a new build in App Store. You can open HackMotion in App Store, see what's the kind of version history. I'm pretty sure that at least, 4 new versions every single month will be there. And if you look at the kind of release notes, so it's not only random bug fixes, that's it. There are meaningful changes for the product happening almost weekly. So if you buy HackMotion right now, in maybe even like 2-3 months, you might get quite different functionality, which is significantly improved. And yeah, so that's regarding the product. We'll have maybe some small time for questions as well. But then again, to get forward, not only the product is important, obviously we need to market and sell the product. And we have chosen to go path through basically our own e-commerce. So it's a niche product, and in a way to scale rapidly, we figured out that the most efficient way is really to try to reach customers online and serve directly through our own channels. And so vast majority of our revenue comes this way. And so we start to look at our e-commerce website also more like a product. So we try to figure out what are the ways how we basically build something like a virtual demo. So again, it's a physical product. It's related to kind of movement and sports. So the best possible way would be just to show in person how it works. Again, it's not possible for us. So we try to work on our website in a way that it acts like a virtual demo. And I think we have still a long way to go there to be really great at that. And lately we have grown quite rapidly and achieved relatively significant results. So for us, it's still like step number 1 or number 2, but at least there's something to look back on. So some stats last year in our website, we had well over 2 million in visitors. All kind of digital marketing activities are getting up in scale. For example, our YouTube partnerships bring millions of viewers every year. And obviously we need to spend significant amounts on marketing, like paid ads and so on. So again, the push to really try to advertise and demo this product, it has to be quite significant. And we've been relatively successful, especially lately, to kind of combine this all together. So this is basically our growth chart from around 2018 when we launched those first products. And so for the last 2-3 years, we have been growing like 2-3x a year over year. And So one thing to really do this is, so again, it's really fast and rapid iterations, really focusing on not just kind of doing your task, but building something that works for a client. And it takes a kind of special kind of team to do that. So we try to really focus on people who are builders, who want to not only do their task, but who want to build something useful for persons. Turns out it's really hard to get those type of people, but we have been successful to get close to 30 of them right now. And so one thing that we decided early on in the company, what we are doing is obviously we need to reward also those people in a way that they would be interested to work with us. So we have stock option plan, and also we have very unique situation compared to most startups. We are bootstrapped, so we are growing from our own funds, and actually we have been growing in profitable way, and we even managed to take out some small dividends, and our option holders are entitled also to that. This is one approach how we really try to focus the team to be suitable to do all those things that I showed previously. That's it from me. We are hiring. We have a number of positions in product and UI and development, and also digital marketing. And if you have any questions regarding what I just spoke or anything else, then feel free. I'm open to answer anything. Yeah, how are you doing this?
I guess I will. We don't have second mic, so I will just pass it by. But maybe you can answer. So who was the...
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That's why I'm doing it. Oh yeah. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
Yeah, cool.
1 2 1 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. So over the last couple of years, obviously since 2018, the hardware design has significantly improved, right? So it's much more comfortable. It looks aesthetically more appealing. What would be the next step in terms of improving the hardware design?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it was what we aim to improve our hardware even more. So we're actually right now working on 4th iteration. So we plan to launch it sometime next year. And so what we are focusing on, so once we go up in scale, so there are a number of things that we need to start focusing that we kind of didn't care maybe several years ago. So the good thing for us is that the hardware is still relatively simple. It's not like building a car. It's just relatively simple PCBs with some specific enclosures on top of it. So I'm kind of playing it down, but still it's not like very complicated hardware product. And for our use case, as I said, the most important part is the software. So we kind of don't have like direct client feedback that this and that is bad in the hardware. But what we care about, so first of all, is obviously manufacturing cost and ease of manufacturing. So if we are trying to build like tens of thousands of units a year, so every single detail needs to be redesigned to be suitable for mass manufacturing. And then there are all kind of corner cases. For example, how easy the straps are to be adjusted, like what's the packaging like, and so on. So if you have 100 clients, then maybe you don't have any problems with some kind of MVP type of hardware. But once you have tens of thousands of clients, it turns out that people do weirdest things with the product you have built. And so we are going through a number of corner cases and just kind of streamlining it so any kind of weird corner cases would happen not so often, I would say. I hope this somehow answered.
Thank you. Very interesting story, and I have some questions. First of all, what is your main goals now? It's development, marketing, or sales? It's second. I ask all of. Second, I know in Riga 3 golf club, and I never hear about your solution. Yes. And the second question: why you work only with coach, not with players? Mm-hmm. And third, where is located your main customers? In what is country, yes, or I don't know, general places, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll try one by one to go through them. I'll go starting from the last ones. So first of all, regarding coaches versus consumers. So coaches were our early focus. Now we are selling mostly to consumers. So still around maybe 5 to 10% of our clients are coaches, but vast majority go to consumers. So that's one thing. So regarding locations, so I'll try to put together where we are selling most and why in Latvia maybe you don't see so much of our gadgets. So most of our market is in the US, around 50-60%. Then all English-speaking countries, Canada, UK, Australia, and I think only 20% ends up in European Union. And in Latvia, I think we have sold like 5 units from 50,000. So we're just not focusing on market. Latvia is not a big golf market. And a couple of I would say, best golf coaches in Riga have actually helped us in early stages to develop the product, so they have it. But yeah, it's not that popular. And so the first one, if I remember correctly, was what is our primary focus right now, so either product or sales or marketing. So I would say it's a combination. So often we ask ourselves, and other people ask, like, how we managed to grow, especially in last year. So if we go back, so obviously we still had kind of significant growth at early years for like normal businesses, maybe 50-60% a year. But again, if you go from like zero base, it's not very exciting. And actually lately we have even accelerated growth rate. And so the main thing I think is a combination. So first of all, we work a lot on the product. So you saw how it has evolved. So it didn't happen in one iteration. It took us years. So every time we launch new update in the product, basically we hope that we are expanding market fit, which means that for us, it means that more people can get value out of our product. So it kind of makes sense for them to buy. And again, it turns out that it does not happen naturally. So we need also to push marketing quite hard. And so it's really a combination. So whenever we try to push more resources in marketing, we kind of hit some sort of ceiling and don't understand how to scale further. But once we improve the product more and more, we start to see that we can increase our budgets. We can reach kind of more broad activities and still get good return from them. So it's really a balancing act of so first and foremost, if we don't have value to offer to clients, there's no reason for us to exist as a business. If we have value, we have to figure out how to really get it in front of the customers. So again, if you're doing nothing, it's very early where you get some kind of viral effect and so on. So basically, yeah, this is the combination of both.
Okay, let's agree one question per person. Who? Yeah, sure.
It's very hard for me to decide which question because I have several, but I will try to catch you up by the beer.
Sure.
But you have several versions of the hardware. Are they all backwards compatible with the software?
Yes, so we have multiple versions in terms of like kind of generations. And so mostly they are backwards compatible. There are some small, maybe not core features that are just not available for the older versions. For example, vibro feedback. So we just launched it in the last version. So obviously in the first two, the device just does not vibrate because there's no hardware in it. But the kind of main functionality is still the same, even for the gadgets we sold maybe some 6-7 years ago. Just the overall proportion of them are very, very small, obviously. So yeah, I guess that's the main part. So we also have multiple software tiers, but they all work with the same hardware. So the hardware is just always one thing, and then there's just different kind of software functionality you can get for different kind of price tiers.
Okay, we have room for one more.
Hi, I wanted to ask you how much time it took you to find the pricing model and how did you actually do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fast. We just figure out a number and put it there. To be honest, I don't think we have a right pricing model. Like pricing in itself is like super difficult act, especially once you get some things running, you start to feel that it's like hard to change, what will people think and so on. So you have people who, if you I don't know, decrease price all of a sudden, return the product from the previous month because you have this kind of money back guarantee and then they just buy new. So it gets more complicated. But I think it's more of a feeling, so it's just kind of mentally difficult. The main thing would be to test. And we have tested somewhat with these different kind of tiers. So actually we started with the most expensive one once we sold only to professional market. And we have been continuously kind of lowering prices, but it was not lowering. It was coming up with a feature set that is kind of more basic in terms of like what kind of user it fits. It's much more complicated for us to develop because just building measurement devices is rather easier and it's suitable for those professionals who know what to do with the data. For average kind of amateur, they don't know what to do with the data, so we need to build this advanced functionality. But then we price it kind of lower because it's for entry-level user, you could say. But yeah, pricing is something I can't give advice on because I don't think we are doing it right. It's I think more mentally difficult than actually difficult. But yeah, it's something that I think we will definitely improve it in upcoming quarters, I hope.
All right. Yeah. Let's give a huge round of applause to Atis. It was a great speech. Thank you very much. Let's have a quick 15-minute break. Please chat to each other, right? Socialize, ask questions, and see you back for another topic in 15 minutes. Okay, everybody is here. Please move forward. Yeah, so we can actually start. So, hope you spoke to someone new, but if not, you will have an opportunity to do so a bit later on after the second presentation. After Elvis, we will have, don't just run home. I know it's hard, but we actually have networking events, so please stay, chat with each other, get familiar, and network.
No beer anymore.
Good. Okay, so no beer, no conversation. That's how it is. All right, but anyways, let's welcome our second speaker, Elvis from, you will tell?
Yeah. Hi. Yes. Nice to see you all here. I'm going to be a bit less technical than the previous presentation because I do work in marketing and advertising. So there's still going to be some numbers, but yeah, maybe a bit less technical. So my background is mostly in marketing, paid advertising, social media, and so on. And for the last almost 8 years, I've been working in companies from the Draugiem Group. And like that's why, like to start the presentation, I want to tell you the stories, like the main story behind Draugiem Group, how it came to life, and like how most of the Draugiem Group companies also came to life, and why that happened. So yeah, you probably know that Draugiem Group has originated from Draugiem LV, which was the Latvia's first social media platform. It's now actually 21 years old. So yeah, this was the Facebook before Facebook, and like this platform, probably the people who are from here have their accounts still there. Some of you maybe have deleted your accounts, but probably a lot of you still have them and you don't even know the pictures that you still have there. So, but the success story of this platform was like really big. So at the peak, the platform had 1.2 million monthly active users. It's not even registrations, but 1.2 million monthly active users, and you know the population of our country. So yeah, like that was a really significant milestone. And so therefore, of course, like the global giants like Facebook and like Meta, they came into the picture, and like the founders of Draugiem LV social network, they understood that they have to move forward and that they have to do something more. They have to generate more ideas, more businesses, more revenue streams, basically to continue doing what they're doing. But like just a short remark about Draugiem Group, it's still alive. Currently, it has around 100,000 active users still, and it's still generating revenue. And there are still people in the Draugiem Group headquarters who work in Draugiem LV portal, which yeah, sometimes people like don't even remember that it still exists. But yeah, so now Draugiem Group consists of around 12 companies. Like these are the biggest ones here, and like, of course, we do have Printful, which is now together with Printify as the first Latvia's unicorn, which is also like the biggest success story of Draugiem Group. I also spent 6+ years at Printful, managing the paid acquisition and demand generation strategy. So I was also a part of almost 100 people marketing team that helped build the Latvia's first unicorn. But there are like lots of other companies, and I want to dig a bit deeper into the philosophy of how they were created. And it definitely wasn't easy, because like in total that there were more than 100 companies that were created from the Draugiem LV capital, and like by the founders and by the Draugiem employees, and like people who came and like with their ideas and wanted to create something new. So yeah, it's like definitely lots of failures. But there were success stories, and yeah, we got our first unicorns. So that is like a super great success, I think. But yeah, and talking about the way like how these companies were built. So it, in a lot of cases, it was based on the needs of the current company. So, for example, like Drogem also like had like some fleet of vehicles, and there was a new government legislation that required you to track your company cars, like in order to get the like the routes, to get the tax benefits and like some other things. So Mapon was created, which is now a multi-million international company that also buys up like different smaller companies in this sphere. We have some Mapon employees here as well, I see. So yeah, like the company started from something that like the other group companies needed. Then we have Road Games. If you know this brand, like this is a like scavenger hunt like mobile application that's also used in team buildings. But this also started from a tradition that all of the Drogem Group companies had for years, like for I think close to 10 years each. August, like the whole Drogem Group like family comes together and we do the scavenger hunt. So we needed to somehow manage the points, like do all the logistics, and like therefore there was an app that was created to do that, like by us, and then we decided to capitalize on it, to make a brand out of it, and like that's how Road Games was built. Then there is this story about this motivational posters store that's also more than 10 years old. It's called Startup Vitamins. It was created during the peak startup period in the US and in the Silicon Valley, and like the idea was pretty simple: to create motivational posters and like some merch to be put in the offices to get people motivated and to get people to build more. So the store was actually really successful. Like these posters were actually in a pretty like prominent a bunch of companies like Google, Facebook offices, and it like went really far. But like the founders came to a problem with like the print quality and like the availability of like the printing partners. So like actually one of the founders of like the Drogem Group, like Lauris, at some point he was literally printing these posters in his living room and then shipping them out to clients. But they needed a stable provider. They couldn't find it. They had to fix their own problem. So what was created? Printful. So therefore, like Printful is also like not a like standalone idea, but it's also something that came from the needs of like different Drogem Group companies. And yeah, so probably don't have to tell you a lot about this company because everyone probably knows. Then we have DeskTime. That's a company where I'm currently working, which also is now 14 years old. But why it was created? It was because Drogem Group employees, like they have a certain amount of benefits, and one benefit that the founders wanted to give us is the flexible working hours. So basically, we know a certain amount of hours that we have to work, but it's our choice when to come to work. We can come until 11 a.m. and we can take longer breaks. And we had a need to measure this, like to have at least some accountability, and therefore. This productivity tracker tool was created yet again to solve a problem of like the existing bunch of companies. And yeah, and we still continue doing that. Like there's stuff that's not public, but for example, this like tool and like service is that all the Drogem Group companies use to book the free lunch that we have. So you just go to this app, you decide what you're going to eat, and yep. And the same is also like all the doors are being opened through a mobile app that also was created by our like companies. So yeah, like that is just the most important like thing about the like Drogem Group DNA is like to basically, if you can solve a problem, then probably someone else will also have the same problem. So you can sell it, you can create a company and profit from it. And yeah, and like the other takeaway from this, like part of the story is that innovation is often the attended consequence of solving your own problems, like which was in a lot of cases how these companies were created. So that is like a short or not so short intro about Dragim Group, but the second part of my speech is going to be about PR and what we are doing at DeskTime, and yeah, and like how far good PR can actually take you, and like what are the results. So before I start, I do have to go into more detail about the product DeskTime because it's crucial to understand like the success of the PR case study. So, but basically, this is a automatic time tracking tool that tracks your productivity and your work time habits. When you arrive to work and when you close your computer, what you were doing, were you productive or not productive. Like this is also what the Dragim Group companies use, what I've been using for years, that like gives me the flexibility to work where I work the best and when I work the best, but at the same time it keeps this this trust and accountability. For example, for a larger remote teams that like you can still like see that everyone's at work, basically. But so what this means is that we have tons and tons of data. We have millions of work hours collected, and like lots of different habits. So yeah, like the goal of the tool essentially is to create this fair working environment where you can be effective and where you can maintain a healthy balance between work and private life. So it all started actually 10 years ago, and I'm speaking here because of something that like the previous team at DeskTime did 10 years ago. So it all started with an idea that, hey, we have tons of data, let's try to analyze it and let's try to find something interesting in it. So what the developers with our PR agency and like a project manager probably did, they started like to analyze the trends, and we took the 10% of the most productive employees, like from all of the aggregated data of tracked users, and we were looking at the trends. So what we saw is that the most productive users were working for a certain amount of time and then took a certain amount of break. That like this was the golden standard that just based on the data it was working. So what we did, our peer agency True6, which we have been working with for 10 plus years now, they created an article based on this, like to share these findings. And they pitched it to different media outlets. It was a bit hard to pitch it, and like there was one outlet that took it, like this one, and like published it 10 years ago. But yeah, so why I'm still talking about it now is because like basically a waterfall effect started from this moment, and in just a few months, days, and later on years. Lots of like really prominent websites took on the story, and it just spread and it spread, and it's still continuing to spread. So if we're looking, for example, at the last month's publication analysis that we did, we still had at least 60 publications for this this article and this research that we did. So yeah, that just shows that that PR can also be a growth engine, because obviously everyone who read these articles, they saw the company that created it, and yeah. So now if you Google the 5217 rule, it's you have some DeskTime blogs, but basically it's now also living on its own. There's tons of different things being created from it. There are mobile apps. It has actually been featured in quite a few scientific publications, which is a bit wild. It is also mentioned in some books. So basically, yeah, it spread like wildfire, and yeah. But one other takeaway that probably I would like to highlight is that don't really believe everything you see on the internet, because if you see the Google's like snapshot of like this search is that the scientists have researched this perfect formula, and like of course the like developer who pulled the data and like the PR team are not scientists, but yeah, so like that's like a fun fact about it. So why is this important? Is that it creates credibility for you as a brand. So of course, like this was not the first, not the second, like not even the 10th story that we did based on the data, and we're still continuing to do it and to share these different reports. For example, this email from Bloomberg we received. I think it was at the end of last year that like a reporter was working on a story about like how like the working parents are like making it through like basically their work weeks, and they were wondering whether we have some data like to illustrate this issue, like to check people's working so basically work habits. So this is what builds the trust in the company. This is what also builds the trust in the product. Plus, most importantly, it's basically free advertising, because sending out the press releases like to media, it doesn't really cost you anything apart from the PR agency fee, of course. But you can also, it's also easy to do it by yourself. So yeah, like that would be also one of the main takeaways. And generally, so what we can learn about this and like is that PR is not like just about exposure, and it's about the impact. Lots of people think about PR as a like a reactive thing to do. That hey, our company like did something, we publish a release afterwards, or that like PR is something that I don't know, someone just takes a look like from a side at your company and like talks about it. But it's really important to use it as a growth strategy, and this clearly shows that it's really possible to do that. Yeah, like the takeaway for you, for your companies is to maybe think about the ways how to take the information that you have and how to amplify it, and how to use it for your own good, and to use it for the PR and marketing tactics. And yeah, and like the also one of the really important things is that organic press is a really long-lasting tool, like because like this example clearly shows it that like it just lives on its own. It generates more and more information, and yep, essentially like that is what does help to bring your brand and your company forward. And also, it's important to know that it's not always easy. I like to compare like the PR strategy sort of to the SEO strategy, that it's something that takes time and that takes resilience to actually try different approaches, to pitch to media, to do a lot, and to see what actually will go into the masses and what will bring like the attention. So this is probably something that yes, some companies are sometimes not even like thinking of, that like PR is just something that you do once a year if you publish a new product or something. So yes, like that was basically the story, and the main question is, yeah, so what is your company's 50 to 17 moment? So and that's it from me today. It's pretty short. But I'm really curious to hear your questions and to talk about this more.
Thank you for the talk. My question is, did this 5217 article or study affect any changes in the product or any functionality? Did you have any takeaways from that?
That is a really good question. Well, as far as I know, like probably not directly. We do have automatic break reminders that make people take these breaks. So yeah, we do have that, but I'm not sure if there were like any really significant changes.
It looks like it could have been a great trick UX-wise, just to communicate these things.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's like definitely a good idea.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? Over there.
When you were coming up with your 50 to 17 strategy, or whenever you're coming up with your like next big ideas, like content or advertisement ideas, do you consider an ideal customer profile, or do you initiate these ideas from the data that you already have? And if you do consider the ideal customer profile, how did you come up with that profile?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we basically have two types of approaches. So one thing is, like the ideal customer profile. Like that's of course someone that works in HR, someone that works in the operations management, and these people, they of course are interested to see clear data, like clear takeaways that they could use on their teams. So for this, of course, we do like the analysis that is just relevant to this. Now, especially the hybrid work like topic that everyone's working on hybrid work, and like this is what we're trying to do to be the decision leaders on hybrid work. We also, for example, were asked to speak at the HR Week conference a few weeks ago, just because of this. That like building like through these press releases, through being the opinion leaders, you build the credibility, and then yeah, it can be also used to talk about the company. But like that would be one approach. But the second approach is, well, it's marketing, it's still clicks, it's still the virality factor. So we also do some of these like fun analysis. We do brainstorms. For example, we were now trying to analyze the patterns between full moon and like Mercury retrograde, and how much people work or sleep in, or like another idea that I think is currently in the works is to check if people in Spain like actually do take the siesta nap like breaks, and to see if like there are some gaps. So there's like two ways to it. Like primarily, of course, it's like data. It's useful things that can make us the opinion leaders. And then second, it's a bit more fun marketing.
Hi. Yeah, so very interesting how you guys figure out you have problems and you come up with your own solutions. So I'm curious about traffic jams. I'm pretty sure that nobody in Draugiem likes traffic jams. And I wonder if you guys would be ready to help all the people from Riga and find a solution for traffic jams.
I guess like that is definitely something that you can ask the guys at Mapon, because they are really like working not on the traffic jams at the moment. They did launch a huge campaign now with together with the government transport authority regarding like the road safety improvements. Yes, so that's something. But yeah, well, traffic jams probably that can be tackled by some smart smart intersections or something like that. So yeah, that could be.
One last.
Hi, you mentioned, so I have a question about this 50 to 17 moment. You mentioned a few keywords. There was PR as a growth strategy and long-lasting effect. And I imagine that this long-lasting effect has some kind of a life cycle. So at first, it brought you conversion rates and business grew, and then now it's probably has gone out of hand. I looked up a few articles and I see that latest don't even mention DeskTime. So do you have any numbers to share that like when this got viral, your business grew and it was X amount, and now it's out of the hand, it's living on its own, and now you need to have next 50 to 17. Do you have any numbers?
Yeah, so like, first of all, like the brand awareness and like it's quite hard to measure like that directly. So of course we like did not get direct conversions from, I don't know, for example, these articles that were published. But we did see some changes in like traffic, of course, like during the first months of this going live. But now we are like doing this media monitoring. We are like receiving reports about like places where we were mentioned, and we still see that like there is a significant portion of like PR activity still comes from this. But we of course like do like a lot of like newer stuff. So yeah. One of the recent articles that went also quite viral, I would say, was that we were checking the AI usage in workplaces, and we like compared different markets, like the main ones where we operate, which is US, India, and then like Europe, and we saw also some pretty interesting data in terms of for example, the AI, like ChatGPT and like so on usage that. Yeah, like the numbers were, I think, close to 90%. I think in India it was 95-ish% of a company, like employees, do use these tools. So yeah, but it's like regarding the precise measurement. Of course, like I don't have a nice conversion Excel for all of the registrations brought by the PR campaigns, but it like does add. Like to the other things, to SEO, to advertising, to website optimization, and so on.
Okay, we have one more time, right? Note for the future: we need to buy a mic that we can throw around.
It's by 10. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the talk. So. Did you receive any pushback by any chance from the big corporate companies saying that people should actually work more and not less? Because essentially getting quarter of an hour off every hour, less than an hour, because well, obviously it's, might be bad for the business and stuff, and, people should just work more and not less. Was there any pushback at all?
Well, that is a good question. Well, it's not that we like made like this as a part of the product, like to make people take these breaks. So like that was still some data that each manager can just like take a look, or I don't know, a freelancer or like someone that uses our tool that can take a look and decide how they want or do not want to apply it to their workplace. So like there wasn't a very strict like pushback. Of course, it was like a bit interesting that the break time was quite long compared like to what we I don't know maybe think that it could be, but yeah, regarding like the company policies and working, well, like still our main goal is to give the work-life balance to the employees, and that also includes not overworked employees, like not burnt out employees, and like this is something that like the tool also helps you to notice if like some teams are working super long hours. So then you can ask the question like, so okay, they're doing it now, but will it lead to burnout, and how it will play out in the long term. So, but yeah, like directly no pushback as far as I remember, or like as far as I have researched. Yeah.
No angry emails or death threats.
No angry emails. No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Please don't go. Please don't go. Atis, can I ask you? We forgot to give you. I forgot to give you presents, but we still need to give you one. Yes. So yeah, I have names here. This is for you. Some snacks, and Atis, this is for you.
For this.
It's been a round of applause. Thank you very much. So, it's been great, but please follow us on LinkedIn. This is the most active platform where you can learn news about this event. Also, all the recordings will be on YouTube. Actually, they're live streamed. And if you know any ideas how to make us better as a community, as an event, or some ideas, for example, to buy a microphone, you can share it here, and we will try to do it. Customer feedback rules. And yeah, we have a networking event for till 9, I think, or 8:40 something. So please stay and yeah, ask all the questions that you still have. Thank you. You've been wonderful. Super.